Now, as we come closer to the official launch of 5G, we'll dive into a discussion panel or fireside chat that kind of like explores what is the promise of 5G. And we're going to look at the experience of this 5G across different sectors. In the breakout areas, you've seen, what can 5G enable for the home? What can 5G enable for the enterprise? What can 5G enable even for SMEs? And I'd like to have my panelists join me on stage. And I'll start with a gentleman called Moses Kemibaro. Moses is the founder and CEO. Moses, kindly join me on stage. Moses is the founder and CEO of Dotsavvy, Kenya's first digital business agency that provides integrated digital business solutions to some of Africa's biggest businesses. His experience spans across digital marketing strategy, creative design, business apps, technology integration, to name but a few. Moses, karibu. Next on stage is Brian Beast Diang'a. Now, Brian is a professional esports player. Looks the part. Brian, karibu. Looks the part. Brian is a professional esports player, an established leader in the gaming community in Kenya. He's won multiple international tournaments, including Injustice 2, Dragon Ball Z, and it's Dragon Ball Z, not Dragon Ball Z. Yeah? The lingo must be proper. It's Dragon Ball Z and Mortal Kombat. He serves as the vice president of Team Reeves, an esports team hailing from not Kenya, but Tokyo, Japan. This guy was also featured as a use case in a school syllabus. So what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be an esports player. The same things, in my time, if you said a musician, eyes would roll. You're like, are you sure? We're not paying all these fees for you to go be a musician now. And what will parents say? It's like, fantastic, go for it. Now we are seeing guys like the Beast being featured as use cases in the same way that probably Safaricom is being featured in Harvard Business Studies. And he's right here with us today. And last but not least, I'd like to call onto stage Rehema Wachira, a full-stack developer with Andela, who brings in a wealth of experience in terms of building solutions and applications across different spectrums: e-commerce, healthcare, insurance, and nonprofit. So as we explore the promise of 5G, I'd like to welcome these guests, and maybe starting with Moses. I've given a brief overview of who you are and what you do, but maybe you could give us a bit more depth into that.
Okay, thank you very much, Mbugua. It's a pleasure to be here and to be a guest here with Safaricom. So I've been in this space a long time, essentially digital services. My company, Dotsavvy, has been actually this year 20 years. And we work in the space of building websites, social media, content, etc. Also on the side, I'm a blogger. I write about technology. I put up content and do that sort of thing. So my entire career from day one has been on the internet, if you can believe that, almost 30 years. So from the very early days of, if any of you know the Hayes Acura modem, anyone know what that is? Michael Joseph is smiling. I think he does. So that's where we started, connecting people many, many years ago. And till today, still they're doing it.
Fantastic. Rehema?
Hi, yes. I'm Rehema Wachira. I'm a software developer at Andela. Andela is a company that helps organizations build distributed engineering teams. And I've had the opportunity to work for clients in e-commerce, health insurance, and the nonprofit sector. And actually, a few years ago, or once upon a time, I used to work for Safaricom on the marketing team that helped launch 4G. So it's pretty exciting to be back here in this full circle moment.
Fantastic. Last but not least, who's the character on your top?
Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Yeah.
Got that, guys? Called Pikachu. So yes, Brian, tell us more about yourself.
Thank you first of all for having me. And also, I'm a professional esports athlete, a gamer, and I call myself a survivor. I actually come from Kibra, and I want to take this opportunity to thank Safaricom for giving me the opportunity to be here, because they're the ones who picked me and said, bro, you game too hard. We wanted to teach people how to game and become like you. And ever since they picked me, I've been gaming, going to tournaments, going to talks about gaming, and just trying to get more youth into the space, because gaming is about the youth. And you know, most of them complain, hakuna job, there's no work. So I felt like, yeah, I'm going to teach them all to game. And that's how I ended up being the beast and being here with you today. So professionally, I'm a gamer. I play video games for a living. I mentor in gaming, and I've gone to the extent of testing games. Recently invited at the AU to test games now. And yeah, I feel this is the right time to be here because, well, 5G is here. No more lag. Thank you.
Fantastic. And I think I love the description he gave of himself. He said, I am an athlete. I am an athlete. Because I mean, these guys would sit on a... What's the longest streak you've had?
You want the math?
What's the craziest longest streak you've had?
Okay, the longest I had is almost 29 hours straight. It was a LAN party, and guys had come from Uganda, so they had been longing to play with me. And again, internet connection is bad, so the experience online was not that good. So the first time we actually got to play together, it just went 24 hours straight to 26 hours. Yeah, that's the longest.
That's crazy. So I'll come back to you, Moses, and looking at it from a business angle, what do you think would really make 5G stand out as a differentiator for businesses?
For me, I think the one variable that none of us can change in life is time. All right, time is a fixed quality. You only have 24 hours a day. But what can change is what you do in that time. And I think when you look at internet bandwidth and speed, I mean, the fact that 5G can be as fast as 100 times faster than 4G, and I think we all know the moments when our connection drops from 4G to 3G, we almost lose our minds. You start to imagine the possibilities of 5G over 4G. So in our case, for instance, at our company, we're still working remotely, 2.5+ years later. We still have an office that we don't use, but everyone works remotely. And we send gigabytes and gigabytes of data to each other every day as part of our workflow. So for me, the notion that my connection can be 100 times faster means that we get more done within the limited time we have there. And that means better results for customers, better cash flow because we're finishing work quicker, but more importantly, because all our systems run in the cloud, we suddenly become a much more effective business.
Fantastic. And I like that angle of the creative space, because if there are creatives in the room, actually people from the media fraternity and bloggers, we know some of our favorite tools have gone cloud. The Adobe Suite, it's all in the cloud. All this stuff, and sometimes it requires heavy lifting. And if you don't have enough juice, I mean, you're sunk, because now suddenly the excuse becomes, siezi tu makazi because my connection is low. It's telling me it's going to take some other 12 hours to sync. And yesterday when doing some tests, the speeds we experienced here are crazy. So literally, it means no more excuses. And what does that mean in terms of transformation for your company, people in the digital space, or even media companies? Now that we're looking at differentiated consumption, and and everyone is a citizen reporter.
I think it's incredible because we can't even start to imagine the use cases that are going to come out of 5G. I think content creators, people working in the space, innovators will start showing us the way in terms of what you can do with that sort of bandwidth. At the same time, I think what it just means is that, the comment that was made earlier that, the reaction time of 5G is faster than the human can react. I mean, that's just incredible. It means, like you pointed out, the industrial scenario where a mine is using 5G to allow people to sit in a nice, comfortable environment and work remotely. So the use cases have been mentioned, e-health, agriculture, all sorts of possibilities. But I think we might end up being surprised, as we have seen with other technologies, what people actually use it for versus what we think they might use it for. We might discover that there are possibilities that we've never even imagined that make things happen. And for me, I'm just particularly excited that we can get so much more done when 5G comes to the market in terms of our productivity as a business and how we serve our clients.
Fantastic. I like what you said about everyone having the same 24 hours, right? But now, what you do within 24 hours is dependent on how quickly you can get stuff done, right? So with 5G, it means that you can get more tasks done and probably unlock more opportunities, which brings me to you, Rehema, saying, as a developer, have you kind of like pinpointed what sort of value 5G is going to unlock for you?
Well, I think for technologists in general, one of the more interesting things that 5G can unlock is the Internet of Things, which has been touched on a little bit by earlier speakers. But essentially, IoT is all about connecting devices, things. So whether it's mobile devices, cars, your fridge, your kettle, anything that you can put a sensor in that can collect data about the world around it, connect that to the internet. And 5G can really enhance that connection. It can enable real-time computing, and that can create some really interesting interactions. Hopefully, as people continue to build and develop in this space, you can start to create really interesting solutions for smarter and more efficient businesses, but also homes and cities. And I think, we're already seeing a lot of IoT applications in Kenya currently. Everything from virtual way stations to traffic monitoring. It's being used in agriculture. There's lots of use cases that are really interesting. And for people who are working in product, in design, and in engineering, it's an opportunity for us to build really interesting products and experiences that I think can help people engage with the world around them in more interesting ways.
Fantastic. I think one of the things that we have seen is, especially as the world has gone remote, we've had a competition for talent. And I think one of the things connectivity enables is that you sitting in Kenya can essentially now be hyper-competitive in the global space, because you can then access opportunities, whether they're from Russia, whether they're from the US, without thinking, will I be able to then engage with the customer in a real way, and therefore increasing your earning opportunities. Brian, to you now.
Yes.
How is this? I know you talked about your first, that great streak being a LAN party, which means you gather in a room, you're on the same network, and the only reason you did that is because remote could not work.
Yes.
How else does 5G then enable you to either become a better gamer or increase your income?
So low latency, like lag, is a very big factor when it comes to gaming. So you find most of the time when you want to play with guys even from South Africa, you can't because of a difference of, let's say, like 20 ping. So in Africa, the best you can get is almost 60, just being around here, And sometimes you lose in the game not because you're bad, but because of the internet. So if the internet is better, it gives you a better opportunity for you as an athlete to better your skills. It gives you a firm standing of knowing, like, this is where I really stand. So if you're beaten, you're actually beaten and you need to go and train, and you won't blame it on lag like most of us do, yeah? So that is one thing. Another thing is, gaming also requires you to get funds. You want corporates to see you. You want to stream. Yeah. When the internet is slow, people won't enjoy your streams. There will be lag. There will be all that. So you won't be giving out quality. People won't get to know the beast. But when the internet is good and you can stream properly, you get attention from corporates and both people who are interested in gaming. And so when they come and they tell you, we want you to hype our new phone with the new game, and we have this, the internet will make it way easier for you to, grow yourself as a gamer and also grow the gaming community. We, like I say, in Africa, we don't have gaming servers. We depend on servers from abroad to play. So already you're playing at a disadvantage when you're playing with guys from outside. So when you lose this, you don't lose because you're bad, you lose because of the internet. So this is going to be a big game changer, and I, for one, I'm just I'm hype and ready for it.
Fantastic. You out-allow Mujembe, like Safaricom is saying, no excuses. We've leveled the playing field. It's now your skill. It's almost like, what other parallel would I give? A game like chess. You can only really compete with yourself. So self-improvement would be the only edge you have, because now the barrier for this has been removed.
Yes.
And an interesting nuance I saw online is the amount of content that people are consuming just watching guys like Brian play. Again, an uncle to many nephews and nieces who literally sit there on YouTube and watch, give me some names. PewDiePie, who's a multi-millionaire, dollar terms, who just does what? He records himself playing. He said the difference between maybe gamers and a game like football is, imagine getting someone paying you to see you type your Word document. That's how easily these guys are making money. Because the guy is playing and he could be losing for all we know, but he's making money. So these are the sort of opportunities that 5G is enabling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to you, Rehema, I mean, beyond now access to those opportunities and building maybe bespoke applications, are there any risks that this might also bring? Because we must also temper the great and the positive and the negative. What do you think would we need to look out for?
Sure. So, with increased connectivity comes concerns about security, as always, and that's an existing concern already. I think one of the interesting things about 5G is that there are levels of security that are already built into the protocol and how everything works. So that's wonderful, but the onus is on us, both as consumers, but also as people building these digital products, to ensure that we're putting security at the center of everything that we're doing. It's one thing to say, oh, my data will now move really, really fast, but wherever it reaches, wherever the destination of that data is, will it be secure and safe there? And that's a thing that we have to be very on top of, to make sure that this is actually continues to be secure as more things become connected.
Fantastic. Moses?
Yeah, I think security is very much front and center. And I think just last week we were at a cybersecurity conference in Naivasha with Director General of Communications Authority, Ezra. And that really came out that the onus is on the individual to take the steps and the measures that they need to. A lot of the security issues often are through social engineering. So again, digital literacy does play a role in this, but also at the organization level, we have to put in the pieces that allow us to secure our networks, secure our users, so that they are indeed protected as they start really going onto this high-speed internet.
Fantastic. In closing, maybe, Brian, you could tell us, what are some of the, you're a gamer and you sit there and you play, but what are some of the other careers that are around that sort of gaming experience?
I think let's just start with streaming. Let's say in Kenya, most of the people who game don't stream a lot. Most of the people in Kenya are competitive gamers. Like, they just go to a tournament and that's it. They don't have an online following. They don't have any of that sort. Like, it's starting. So I think with the 5G, where they can get more fans, you'll have a following. You'll have fans. You'll be like PewDiePie's, but in Africa. And by 5G, this will enable this. I won't need to go to tournaments. What I will just do is I'll start streams and teach people how to be like me, Like what we did with Blaze, we went around the country talking about gaming, but this time I'll just do it from YouTube and be like, hey, what game do you want to see me play? I log in, download it. Downloading games also, you see? Like downloading Call of Duty can take you 1 week if you don't have good net. And if you have fast net, a few hours. But with 5G, this will be like a 2-minute thing. And especially now that there is cloud gaming, like on Xbox, like you can play from your phone connected to your Xbox or your TV. I can't even start putting the opportunities that are going to arise. And you know how people are creative, especially with now TikTok and everything. Yeah. So we'll have TikTok gamers, we'll have Facebook gamers, we'll have YouTube gamers. And for me, I'm just like, I can't wait to join and start some of this. I just started streaming. So I feel it's an opportunity for me as a gamer to grow and get more audience and get more eyes to see what I do best.
Fantastic. Yes. And maybe just to bring some of these concepts home, he's wearing a really nice jersey, right? And you may be in the audience and you're wondering, where can I get one like that? So my thought is, probably you're on a 5G device and you're streaming this live, and it just pops up, and something pops up and says, buy this, it's Pikachu, it's from brand X, buy now. Then you click on it and you can very quickly see, would it fit me? Would that yellow look nice with my tone of brown and things like that? And you're now stitching the experience, and then at the end you say, okay, size medium, pay, M-Pesa SDK push, buy, delivery. You simply bring it home. So we even remove it from the really general sort of concept of saying 5G and bring it home. Last comments from you, Moses?
For me, I think I'd like to say that I think I'm really excited. I'm really keen to see what's possible. The one concern I have is obviously devices and coverage, which I'm sure will be mentioned today. But I think the more people who can have this, the bigger the game changer it becomes. And I think I'm super excited to see the endless possibilities that we can't even imagine that users are going to start showing us are possible because of 5G.
Fantastic. Thank you. Rehema, closing with you.
I think as a developer, one of the things that I'm really excited about is seeing opportunities for people who are already in the industry to learn more and to enter these different areas to build, whether it's IoT or just different expansions that can utilize the 5G platform. So I'm hoping that some of the companies and folks represented here will start to build out some of those opportunities for developers to get involved.
Asanteni. Ladies and gentlemen, help me appreciate my panel as they walk off stage. Thank you so much for your insights.